Hi Jess, hi everyone. Thanks for joining us on the webinar today. I have the pleasure of asking our friends at LME, David and Daisy, some questions about the project that we did with them earlier in the year. So I'm just gonna ask you, David, first question. What were the technical drivers for change?
Hi Jess. Yeah, so our legacy system was on-prem. So obviously we had some challenges there. If we weren't trying to upgrade the server, we were then having to upgrade the legacy system itself. It was also quite rigid. Well, it was very rigid, and we just couldn't develop it, and we couldn't pull out any of the reports that we needed to, and it just meant a lot of admin work for the finance team to translate all that and send it around the business.
Perfect, thank you. Trish, if you don't mind just moving on to the second question, sorry. Perfect. And so to you, Daisy, similar question, but on the financial side, what were the financial drivers for change?
Yeah, I think that there were a few that played a part. The main one being that we had third-party applications, and we had quite a lot of them, and they were all trying to feed into one another. That had its own issues. So it really was the time for us to bring everything under one umbrella. To create efficiencies within the team and the wider business. The third-party applications that we were using were taking a lot of time. So really to create those efficiencies, and also our running costs every year. You know, we were relying on upgrades, different licenses, different links into different systems. So it was really to try and bring them down as well.
Fab, thank you. David, did you want to add anything into that, or all good?
No, all good.
No, all good. Okay, great. Third question then. What technology did the solution use? I guess that's for you, David.
Yes. So obviously the big one, which you're here for now, is Business Central. But we also had an existing Dynamics customer engagement, which we used previously for our legacy system. So we've had that. We made use of the Continua extension, and we've also brought in jet reporting as well.
Yeah, fab. We're loving Continua expense management and document capture. Lots of your staff are using those now. So next question, how has the system improved the technical operations?
So we made use of out-the-box functionality. As I said, where we couldn't, we've got the extensions such as Continua, so we use the out-the-box for Continua. Like as an example, the OCL technology, which automatically brings in an invoice into BC from our inbox. You know, that's probably a big game changer for us, because it used to take quite a long time to process an invoice. But we've also introduced some custom developments to our PO process, which has given users more autonomy, which is what they wanted. And it's also meant that we could move away from complicated manipulation of spreadsheets. So we're actually able to pull the reports we need directly from Business Central.
Great, thank you. And then this one's for you, Daisy. Compared to the previous systems, what are the key three financial efficiencies that you find within Business Central?
Yeah, I think David and I will overlap with those. I did write them down and had 5, so I have tried to narrow them to your 3. I think the main, you know, as I've already said in the question before, I think having everything within one system for us is a game changer. I would say the Continua expenser, it's the first time we've had anything like this before. We relied on Excel forms and a bit of scanning of a receipt prior to this. So to have this app and to bring us into the 21st century is a massive game changer across the business. Bank automation definitely needs to be mentioned. We now have bank automation, which is incredible. It has cut so much time out of our day-to-day reconciliation. So definitely an efficiency. And then, as David mentioned, the document capture using the OCR technology is huge for us. We get a huge influx of invoices, especially around our event time. So to have that technology in there, picking things up for us ahead of time is massive for us.
Yeah, amazing. Yes. Just going back to the expense management, having that on the go, on your phone, on the app, and then being able to take pictures of the receipts as you go, especially because of all the events that you have. I'm hoping that your staff are really loving that functionality. Okay, next question. What effect has this had on the charity?
So I'm going to mention reporting again. So obviously, because we can actually bring out more real-time or at least near real-time information, it just allows us to make better and more informed decisions. Also, giving time back to our colleagues, especially in our event experience teams, and cutting out their admin. It just gives them time to focus more on the event side of our business, which yes, all of that is a clear enabler for us to help achieve our vision of inspiring activity and our mission to increase and champion participation and diversity in physical activity.
Great, yeah, and obviously we've been using JET reports to bolster the reporting capabilities within Business Central. I know certainly I've built a few for the team so far, so there is that additional functionality that we're using, which is fab. And what effect, Daisy, this one's for you, what effect has this had on the wider business and employees?
Yeah, so I think we've already touched on the time savings of the expense app. So as I said, that's something that's brand new into the business, and it's definitely had a positive impact. It's also allowing people to submit their expenses earlier than they probably would have done before. It doesn't feel like such a mundane task to fill out spreadsheets. I think probably the biggest one would be our PO process, so our procurement process. We had a system before where people could raise purchase orders, but once it was raised, there was nothing that they could do. They had to come to finance for everything. So that was obviously, it increased our workload, and it also limited what they could do. Now with Business Central, we have the flexibility for requesters to amend their PQs, to delete them before they're approved. They can also see a lot more throughout the business. They can see invoices that are coming in that aren't related to them. We wanted that visibility. And I was just away with everybody yesterday, and you know, the feedback was that everybody bought into Business Central. So I think we all did our jobs well, because they are all invested and they all think it's positive change.
Oh, amazing. I always love hearing that. It's fabulous, especially because you have so many staff over at LME. So to please everyone is pretty hard, or at least the vast majority. So that is amazing to hear. And then I guess we move on to our next question, which is for you, David. Just thinking about the future, how do you feel about the sustainability of your system going forward?
Yeah, I mean, it's great that we've now got an ERP system that's on cloud. We don't have to worry about upgrading our servers or upgrading the system itself. You know, it's going to be able to grow with us and evolve with us as a business. Yeah, we've done a lot of that over the last few years. I just feel we're only scratching the surface of what we can do with Business Central at the moment.
Yeah, definitely, especially now Gerd's demonstrated some of that co-pilot capability. Maybe we can wangle our way into a further project doing some fun stuff there. So last question then, after your experience of migrating to Business Central, would you have done anything differently or have any advice for anyone on the call?
I'll take this one, shall I, Dave? I would say that if anybody decides to go ahead with Business Central, to really utilise the workshops. You know, businesses really need to nail down exactly how their organisation works and exactly how they want that to work. And it's really important to strip that right through to the basics, because with any big project, and it is a big project, you find things as you go, and it would just be great to identify those. I mean, there are no what would I have done differently, because it was a huge success as a project, but you really have to use those workshops. The other thing I would say, and I know that I said this to you many times, Jess and Gerds, is that, you know, we're all used to doing business the way we do it. You have to come into a project like this and be open to change, because, you know, and I used to come and say to you, but are we doing it the right way, or should we be doing it differently? And I think you really have to be open to change to create those efficiencies. Otherwise, you just get stuck in the same cycle, you know. And if you roll it out properly across the business, then you will get everybody on board in support of it, and, you know, people will adapt. So that would probably be my two. I don't know if David's got anything to add.
Yeah, well, I think, yeah, definitely the discovery, as you mentioned there, Daisy, very important. I think in terms of a project plan as well, we didn't really see go live as being the end of the project. We had a phase 2. We had quite a short time to actually build, so we were very clear on what we needed. So I suppose if you're looking at it as a product, just having your MVP, what you actually need to go live, and then the rest can follow later, which is what we've done, and we've done it very well. And I think we just had a lot of fun on the project as well. You know, it's a big project. A lot of people are involved, and it can get quite serious, but at times, especially when you're doing your testing. But, you know, all the way through that project, we had a lot of fun, a lot of laughs. So enjoy.